Cool. I'm Benjamin Riches. I always have been, I guess. I don't really know how to sign my name off. Yes. So on YouTube, like and subscribe.
Yeah. If you have any questions about anything personal branding or photography related,
and do you want to
comment below?
Do you want to give yourself of who you are and where to find you? And
sure. You can find me on Instagram at Ela Mazur Creative, and Ella's with one L. Lots of people can't find it because they spell it wrong. But
eventually, actually, go a little bit more into like your business.
My business.
Yeah. So what do you do for people? That's probably people are like, what does?
Yeah. Why are you talking to me?
Yeah. Like what? Why do I need? Yeah, maybe I'll cut this part into another part after. Let's say, why do people need you?
Yes. So I have a business online specializing in Instagram marketing. We do other marketing as well, but mainly we do management or coaching for people that either have a business existing online or they're trying to move online. And we also do a whole bunch of courses. I do group coaching. I'm in the middle of a group coaching program at the moment, and they're doing really well, and it's just amazing to see the results that are coming through. I've been doing this. This will be my 4th year. This is starting into my 4th year, which is pretty cool.
We've known each other like 10 years, maybe 11.
I think more.
Maybe more. Yeah. Just Web 2.0 was just coming into it.
Before Insta, we knew each other.
Oh, can you imagine a time before Instagram? Yeah. And even then I was still so late to it, and I was like a photographer, and it was like, check out this photo sharing platform. And I was like, no, I'm too cool for that. Dumb mistake.
I actually remember when I met you at Perth Fashion Festival.
Oh yeah.
There were those times.
Back when we were Perth kids.
Back when that was a thing.
Back when we were Perth kids thinking we were going to make it in fashion. In the most isolated city in the world.
Could still happen.
Okay, yeah, could, maybe, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
But with personal branding, I feel like everyone really tries to overthink it when really it's just you being yourself online, which I think everyone has a really hard time being, because everyone's like, well, who am I showing up as? Who do I have to be? And the beauty in personal branding is if you can really nurture how to be yourself, that's what's going to draw people to you and attract people to you. But no one knows how to be comfortably themselves online. Yeah,
I know. Like when I did the first video, I watched it back and I was like, I'm way more fun than this. Like this is really boring. My sincerity sells video. And I was like, I need to be with people because then I can be fun and like charming and nice and cool and not. And I was just like really deadpan, and I was like, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah.
You
get really awkward. You get really uncomfortable, especially if it's just a camera and there's no one there.
Yeah.
Well, but really, you're talking to one person.
Yeah. You know, you do all right in your short little do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of practice though, and I feel like over time you get more confident, just like with anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. So how many like takes did you, when you first started posting like your, I guess, I don't know, how do you even describe what it is? Stories, yeah. How many takes were you doing in the start?
In the very, very beginning, so the very beginning before I even started Ela Mazur Creative, when we had Ella and Jackson and we didn't have stories and we had Snapchat.
Oh yeah.
We took about 1,000.
1,000 takes?
We took so many.
Oh my God.
And it would just, Keely and I would get so awkward and so uncomfortable, and then I started vlogging. So when we'd go to Bali, I'd start doing vlogs and that helped. But I think what really, really helped with what I'm doing now is podcasting, because it just helps you talk, and it helps you talk without all the ums and the ahs and the stutters.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like those ums and ahs and stutters and like pauses and like, how do I frame this properly?
In the beginning though, there's way too many.
Yeah, that's true.
And if every second word is then the audience will be like, how many ums are there? And it will turn into one of those drinking games.
The internet is a cruel place when
it
come to that. You know, half the time you're like, you just do it. You go and do it.
Correct. There are still days though where it's really hard to show up, but it's only because you're human. You have good days and bad days.
Yeah.
The more comfortable you get being yourself online, and the more you start to care less about what other people think, it's much easier.
It's what, sorry?
It's much easier.
Oh, much easier. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I do like that thing. I think back to like how much planning and meticulous I was, like planning shoots and getting to know like every single little thing and having all these big grand ideas, and everything was like set up well before the client would get there. And then in the reality part of it, it was never going to happen because you didn't get to test it before the day. And then you're trying to get the right shot off the brief, but it was never going to happen because parts were missing that were out of your control, or the person didn't actually look like what they wanted. You're like, you don't look like this. You can't do this photo. You can't have this. And then pulling it back into kind of like just being like, okay, we're going to wing it now. We're going to have a vague idea of what we want. We're going to have like a solid like idea of like what we want the end result to be showing, which is like, that comes back to my like sincerity point, is if you can get like the organic kind of emotion out of people, that's what people are gonna like be attracted to. Not like the big fancy production and all of that. It's the like that real laugh, not the fake laughing at salad.
Exactly. Yeah. I think authenticity is just thrown around so much around the online space at the moment that people sort of don't understand.
They try and fake it.
Exactly. They really do. They have like their online voice and then they have their offline voice. And so many people that I follow online, they just can't be comfortable to be themselves, or it has to be perfect, and like what you were just saying. And when I first started Ela Mazur Creative, I didn't really have any sort of branding. I was like, this is nice. I'll try this. And then eventually I sort of developed what I liked and the colours I liked. But I feel like for a personal brand, you don't have to have it completely mapped out, because that also hinders you from doing anything. And I've worked with so many people where they just can't decide this colour or this colour, and they do nothing. So it's better to try one or both and be like, actually I don't like that. No, I do like this. And then you'll see what you like and what your style's like, and it evolves, and your community will also see your evolution, which is relatable.
Yeah, okay. That's really good. Those are really good points. I really like obviously everyone's got like their own opinions on things. I find often like to go out of my way to like talk to people with different opinions, or even just talk with people with the same ones, but then the more you talk about it, then you're like, oh, actually my thought is now better hashed out, or I now understand more about this. I guess that kind of also then applies to your personal branding. It's like, I'm just going to go with like a photo of my face. Yeah. But then you're like, oh no.
Well, you get better at taking that photo.
Yeah.
And you'll get more knowledge around how to do it. Like, even the first photos when we started doing Ella and Jackson, they were terrible.
Well, I mean, I did some of those.
Not those ones.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good. That's me.
Not those ones.
Fishing for a compliment.
The ones where we were learning.
Yeah.
And the ones where the iPhone cameras weren't great yet, when we had to really invest in all the DSLRs and try to figure it out. And now it's much easier.
You do learn a lot more like from figuring it out.
Yes.
Which I think that comes back to like being able to wing it, is having that like meticulous attitude on trying to make the things really big, and like it's not going to work how you want it, but you'll learn so much more from like slugging away and stressing and all of that. Yeah. And then like I walk into shoots all the time with vague stuff, and I'm like, cool, we're doing this, and then halfway through talking to them, I'm like, you know what, we're actually going to change your kind of branding a little bit, and we're going to go in this area. And like even the client at the time will be like, oh, I don't know, I don't feel like that's really me. And then you'll sit them down, you go through the photos, and they're like, I love this. This was great. How did you know to do this? And I was like,
what you pay me for?
I was like, this is why you get pros. 'Cause we're going to know that that idea wasn't going to work properly, and it wasn't going to look as good, and we're just going to quickly change it over to this. And that kind of thing's really good.
I feel like my favorite thing is when a client comes to me and their whole branding and everything is such a mess. Yeah. And I get to take all of their branding and take all their content and just organize it and present it in a way that their audience can digest it and it's beautiful, and those transformations and
Yeah, I guess
I love
that's
doing it.
another good point about what you do for your clients is because it's like it's like an industry that you're not like they're like your PT client and stuff. Like you're not a PT, but you know, like you go to the gym and work out and eat healthy and stuff. But having like the outside eyes come in and be like, this is how we're going to have the conversation about what you do. Like having someone come in. It's when you know everything. You're like, why don't you understand what I'm trying to say? You're like, because I don't know every single part about what you're saying. So
yeah.
you need to.
That's why we do a lot of research to begin with.
Communication.
We always develop a strategy, and we always do a lot of research into their market so that we know who they're speaking to, so they know how to speak to them.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Because no one wants to learn that. It takes so much time and energy to learn how to communicate with people.
Yeah.
And definitely, like, not everyone can communicate their roles with people.
Yes.
Like, it's, you know.
I went to an event the other night for a client, and she had just asked me to come to do stories, and the photographer was there and the videographer was there. And the videographer came up to me and he was like, you are the reason why I'm not getting jobs. Not me specifically, but people like me doing social media. And I was like, what do you mean? You're still here. I'm just capturing it from the perspective of the consumer, not the beautifully edited,
different videos,
Yeah.
different marketing. Yeah, marketing isn't a billboard anymore. It's not a cool TV ad. You need like so many different channels that are tying into the same thing, the same kind of talking points or the same kind of branding and things. And like some stuff needs to be like big, over the top, nice and polished, and then other stuff people really love, like that little bit kind of ghetto, a little bit rough, more like organic, and you've got those mistakes kind of in there. People
love
do.
to tell you about your mistakes.
Do they?
Yes, they do in my industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Like, but do you post any of that? No?
If I have spelling mistakes or things like that, people always...
Oh, those mistakes, not like life business mistakes or I made this terrible choice or...
No, I mean, but I'll still talk about that if I have made a terrible choice or mistake or something.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I'll still talk about it because it's a great learning
Learn
for
more
other
from a
people.
mistake than a success.
Yeah.
That's for sure. We've all had many of those. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just perfect, who knows? Actually, some of my biggest achievements ended up, I thought they'd like do better for me in like the professional sense, but then they ended up getting like nothing. Like, you know, like getting like shooting for GQ and GQ being like, you're awesome, you're the next big thing. Came back to Perth and they were like, nah, we don't want to borrow you down. I'm like, I just did literally the biggest thing ever from a kid from Perth. And they're like, nah, we don't want to, it's not going to work with you anymore. I'm like, are you serious? I just gave up a European tour with a massive DJ because you were coming out. What a waste. Mistakes, fun.
I wouldn't say that's a mistake though. You can't predict
Yeah, that's
that.
true. Yeah, well, they're saying no to going on like the massive European tour for 3 months.
Yeah.
Was definitely a mistake. I should have done it. But, well, happens. Good. And what's next for you?
So many things.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's constantly evolving.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Instagram is also constantly evolving, and so is online with Meta and everything. So.
Yeah. Actually, I had an interesting thought when I was on my way here about how, like 5 years ago, if you, like, no one, like, I guess the people in the balance of power, like the older people, were like, I don't care about your Instagram. And I feel like maybe now there's TikTok, people are now giving more credit to like your Instagram and like you're following on your Instagram. They're like, oh wow, that's really cool that you have that. But then those are the people that were like, oh, I'm not getting on TikTok, I'm not using TikTok.
Yeah.
But like now with TikTok.
It just depends what kind of consumer you are. If you're
Totally.
early adopter, if you're the person that is just not keen for change at all.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the clients I work with are the people that just have no idea how to use the online space, but their business might be doing really well in like offline and in terms of word of mouth.
Yeah.
But they need to be online, but they just don't know how.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big advocate of if you like haven't got the time to do it all yourself, like, you know, like SEO and like Google ads or Facebook ads, like I wasted so many hours trying to get
Figure
stuff
it
like trying to figure that out, and then like I'm like, none of this paid off. I'm like, how much is enough money? And then as soon as I got like an SEO guy to do all that stuff, he was like, don't waste your, he's like, don't do this, that's not going to work for this business, we're going to go over here and do this. And then then my only focus, my only job would go to just dealing with the clients that came in, not going and getting them and stuff. And then when you are like flat out and busy, you're then flat out and busy again, because you didn't have to stop. Like, you didn't have to be like, oh, I've got to go get more jobs, I've got to go get more clients, I've got to get on the hustle. You can just hustle like your specialty, your stuff and things. Because it's definitely like overwhelming for a lot of people to
try to do all the things.
I guess having someone to say, this is the content that we're going to make in this kind of idea, we're going to do this, I will then put it out for you, I'll make it happen, and it's going to look really good, and it's going to sound really good, and you're going to be excited to put it out. I think that's like another thing. That's always like a nice feeling when you give people back like the stuff you've done for them, and they're like, I'm so excited about this.
Yes, like my wedding photos were amazing.
I did those, by the way.
Yes,
they were great.
They were amazing.
They were great. Yep. And you've just had, and Perth is notoriously dull for small businesses in January. Like, everyone goes away and hides in January, and you were just saying you've had the busiest January ever. Yeah. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And like, you know, give a bit of a scale of like your business. Like, how many staff members do you have?
So we have 2 full-time staff and 2 part-time staff, and then my husband also works for the business, which is cool. Yes.
He's cool.
He is. He's our salesman.
Oh yeah, he'll be good at that.
Sales, yeah. He's great at that. So good at that. He taught me sales, so now he's doing it.
Yeah. Maybe another good thing to talk about is maybe, maybe there's something I can touch on. Like, I really like my clients that I've got that like you work with like over a long time, and then then you're in a better position as well to like push them into other ideas, and you can really get an idea of their business on how to help them sell their message or represent themselves or communicate themselves and what they're trying to do. Like, it's all good and fun when you get those like last minute calls of like, hey, we need some quick stuff done, but it'd be really great if a lot of people, I guess like with a lot of things, you might not get it perfect on like the right time, or you might have the wrong idea of how to engage with like photographers, graphic designers and things like that. Like, if they don't get it right the first time, like, go back to them. They're going to have a better idea of what you want. It's probably the same for you, but a big part of my job as a photographer and doing some video is interpreting what people mean when they say something. Like, the way I think about how something's got to be done and the way that someone describes it to me, like totally different. They're like, I want to do like this, and you've got to interpret how to do it. Can they afford to do it? And things like that. And no one wants to spend like any real money or invest any real money the first time in like getting the cool production stuff done and like the locations and travel, and everyone thinks it takes 5 minutes, and it's like, no, it's...
Especially post-production, I feel like everyone just forgets about post-production.
Yeah. Like, it's all good and well that you can take a cool photo with an Instagram filter. Like, that's great. I love that. And I mean, professional photographer for 10 years, and I love selfie culture. I think it's beautiful and amazing. But when it comes to like the big production stuff, like, give some time, like, get some briefing, and be excited about it. And like things like that, and like work with people. Like, that's like, like give some like creative freedom in like the personal branding, and like get the ideas. Don't just say, I want a photo. Like, I'll do it. $20 is $20, right? It's not. It's a lot more than that. But you know, like give some ideas and like open up, tell us that you like, I don't know, 80s cartoons and things like that. Like the more information when it comes to getting your personal branding stuff, the more information you can come to with us, the more I can create from that and incorporate all of that.
Yeah.
And like bring lots of stuff, bring weird things.
Yeah.
Like
whenever I do a personal
Yeah.
branding shoot, I always map it out first on Pinterest with lots of inspo.
do that. That's great. We
Inspo
love
for
that.
poses, inspo for styling, inspo for locations, because I feel like whenever you work with, say, a new photographer, one, you need to get comfortable. The photographer needs to make you feel comfortable, but then also in the moment, you'll forget how was I meant to sit, what was I meant to do, and it's so much easier if you can just pull it up on Pinterest in your board and be like, oh yeah, I really like how she's sitting or how she's doing that, or makes you feel more comfortable. And then Ben's really good at actually directing you in what to do, which is great. So many photographers don't.
Most of my job, like
he'll be like, do this, do that, and it's so great. But it's much easier if I'm like, this is how I want to pose, and he'll be like, okay, do this to pose like that. My favourite element's probably the styling and putting all the outfits together, but I would make sure that if you're doing a personal branding shoot, you have lots of different outfit changes, because if you're investing time and money into it, then you want to get the most for that money. So you always have at least 4 or 5 different outfit changes, and you don't need many photos in each outfit.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to post them all anyway.
Yeah, and like it's not really about the clothes you're wearing. Like that's kind of just like the vibe of the shoot. The photos are going to be like about you. You know, like you can be wearing whatever you want really, as long as it looks nice and looks good and is flattering. Like that all helps and things. But yeah, the photos will be like about you and what you're like. I
guess the styling is a big
the styling
part of your personal expression when it comes to personal branding.
So that's where that comes in. Like that's where the personal styling and the stuff you have and the locations you choose. That's what's gonna like trigger the people to be like, oh, she likes this stuff.
Correct.
Or he's like, oh, this guy's into cars. I'm into cars.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of.
That's where you can put your personality into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually just recorded a whole podcast on how to plan your own photo shoot. So.
Oh, perfect. Did you talk to any photographers about that?
No, because I've done it many times.
Yeah, that's true.
As the subject, not the photographer.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. I'll send you some notes and be like, this makes our life harder. Don't do this. Yeah. But no, definitely the more you put in, the more you get out of it. And if you're on like a strict time limit, or you hate photos or anything like that, and you only want it done in like 45 seconds, you need to tell the photographer. Like, I've rocked up, I've had the assistant book me in, I'm thinking I'm doing this like really big, cool, amazing grand portrait, and they're like, you've got 8 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I can do it in that.
Take me 8 minutes to do the lighting.
I was like, but I've carried a cart of stuff, like of equipment with me up your elevator and your stairs, and I didn't need to. Anyway, communication is key. But yeah. All right, thank you. Like and subscribe.
See ya.
Yeah.